If you're sitting on a pre-approval right now, damn, you can't even see my body. If you're sitting on a pre-approval right now, refreshing Zillow at midnight, trying to figure out if 2026 is your year to buy in Georgia, you should reconsider if your strategy is the wrong one. Because right now, the strategy that a lot of agents have been telling a lot of new and upcoming first-time home buyers to build wealth for their family for the last generations is dead. And if you buy houses here thinking you'll flip it for a profit in the next few years and move up, there's a real chance you have to bring a check to sell your own house, pay your commissions, even offer up closing costs for the buyer, and it's honestly not even worth it. So let me show you exactly what's happening in this market, and there's one situation where buying still makes sense. Quick disclaimer before anyone leaves any comments on whether it makes sense or not. I'm not your financial advisor. This is general information, not personalized advice. You should talk to a real lender, a real agent about your finances and your numbers and what appreciation you can expect in the neighborhood you choose to buy in. But here's what I can do for you. I can give you an honest read of the Georgia market that most people aren't going to tell you because they only get paid when you sign the contract. So let's get into it. We're covering 4 things: what the market is actually doing right now, the big shift nobody's talking about, why the old playbook is broken, and if you're still going to buy, how to do it without getting burned. First, let's kill 2 myths at the same time. The market is not crashing, but it's not booming at the same time. It's flat, and it's kind of its own trap. Well, I'll get into it. Here's where we stand. The statewide median Georgia home is sitting somewhere in the high 360s to about mid 400s. Okay. Depending on whose data you're reading, in Metro Atlanta, prices are actually down slightly year over year. You can call it about 2% or less, while the rest of the state inches up just as slowly. And looking at the signals underneath that price and the appreciation, inventory is up double digits compared to last year. More homes, that means more choices for buyers. That means more leverage for them as well. Homes are sitting longer. We've gone from bidding wars to 2 months on the market in a lot of areas. And roughly 1 in 5 listings is taking a price cut. So why is it stuck like this? And the answer is not one that people don't really know. I mean, everybody knows this really. It's just the mortgage rates, okay? They've drifted down from 7% all the way down to 6, maybe low 6s right now. And that sounds like good news, but it's honestly kind of misleading because there's 2 things that are happening right now. Buyers can't afford to jump in and get into a bigger home, and sellers with a 3% pandemic mortgage refuse to give it up. So everybody's kind of frozen, supply trickles up, demand stays soft, and prices just sit there. That's the backdrop for every decision we're about to talk about. And remember, flat prices, highest rates, frozen market. Okay. Now here's the part that's going to surprise you, and it flips the old wisdom on its head. For decades, the move was buy as close to the city as you can. In-town appreciates fastest. The suburbs are where value goes to die, right? Well, not anymore, okay? Right now, the metro suburbs, and especially the exurbs, the communities that are way out of the edge, like an hour out from the city, are actually outpacing the inner city neighborhoods. If you look at counties like Dawson and Jackson, out past the traditional suburbs, are among the fastest growing in the entire country. They're growing 5 to 6% a year. Meanwhile, plenty of in-town Atlanta neighborhoods have actually lost value compared to where they were in 2021 and 2023. And the reason why is not really shocking, to be honest. I mean, right now, we are actually hitting record levels of new construction like we were in a decade ago after the last crash. There's now more land in those areas, more space. There's newer homes. People are remote now, so they don't have to be stuck at commuting to work at the office. And, there's really a lot more options to just live a perfect home and work from home. Never leave, really, right? Buyers are trading the short commute for square footage and a house that doesn't need 80 grand of renovations. The price gap between in the city and way out there has gotten really thin, and in some cases, outer areas cost much or more than the inner cities. And I'm not telling you to go buy 2 acres in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you the assumption that closer in always wins is kind of outdated. And if you're buying based on a 2015 playbook, you're gonna make a 2015 mistake and get burned. The strategy I opened up with for a generation was simple: buy a starter home, live in it for 2 years, let it appreciate, build equity, sell it, roll the equity into a bigger house. You rinse and repeat, you climb the ladder. That worked when prices were going up 8 to 12% each year. 2 years of that covered your costs, handed you a fat down payment when you sold it, and got into your next place. Now you run the same play in this flat market, and you're not going to see the same thing. Let's say you buy a $400,000 house 2 years later, the market's flat, still worth $400,000. It might even be worth less. If you go to sell it and you didn't put a huge chunk of money down for your down payment, you actually are going to have to come to closing with a check. And it could be anywhere between $4,000 to even $15,000. And for a lot of people, that wasn't even how much they put into the house. Now, agent commissions, you can call it 5 to 6%. Closing costs, concessions, prep, the stuff buyers ask for in a soft market, all in, selling a house easily runs you 8 to 10% of the sales price on a $400,000 home. That's $30,000 to $40,000 gone. So if your home didn't appreciate, you don't even break even. You lose. You either walk away with nothing after 2 years of mortgage payments, or, and this happens to real people right now, you write a check at closing just for the privilege of selling your own home. And that's not how it's supposed to be. The build equity and move up in 2 years plan needed appreciation to survive, and right now appreciation is on pause. So I think the plan is dead. But if you buy in 2026, you have to plan to stay long enough for slow, boring, modest growth to actually outrun your selling costs. We're talking 5 to 7 years minimum. That's the new playbook now. It used to be 2 years, now it's 5 to 7. So should you buy at all in 2026? Let's be honest about it on both sides. Okay, the pros, which is everything you've already heard already, probably if you're really an active buyer, is you finally have leverage. There's more inventory, which means more options for you on houses that are available. Sales are moving slower and sellers are getting impatient, and they're actually cutting the prices as well. So right now you can actually negotiate, ask for concessions, and not get steamrolled into a bidding war like you were in 2020. Rates have eased off their peak, and if they drop further, you can actually refinance later. Okay. Owning locks in your housing costs instead of leaving you exposed to landlords who choose to raise it every renewal. The cons though, prices are flat or slipping, so you get zero short-term appreciation cushion, no quick equity. Rates are still high by recent standards, so your monthly payment is heavy compared to a few years ago, and your money is locked up. Between the down payment and those selling costs we just covered, buying is the opposite of liquid. If your life changes in 2 years, you're stuck, or you're paying to get out of it, like I said earlier. Notice the theme. Okay, every pro here only pays off if you stay put. This is not a market that rewards people being in a hurry. So here's the framework. If you're really trying to buy a house and it's a genuine must for you and your family, don't treat it as an investment. Okay, rule number 1. In this market, a house is not a money-making machine. It's a place to put down roots. Buy it because you want to build a home for your family, provide them stability, a yard for the kids, paint the walls whatever color you want, maybe green, purple, yellow, right? And you don't have to worry about a renewal letter telling you that rent's going up another $200 at the end of the year. Okay, that security does have real value and is not the kind that shows up as a quick profit. Rule number 2, like I said, buy to stay. Not 2 years, at least 5 to 7, and definitely check at that 5th year if the appreciation is worth it for you. Long enough to outrun those transaction costs and let slow appreciation do its thing. If you can't honestly say you'll be in this house and in this city in 5 years, don't buy the house. You're going to lose a ton of money. You're going to be very unhappy about it. And you're going to hate agents. You're going to blame the house. You're going to blame the market. You're going to blame the president. But it's up to you because you honestly didn't make the right decision. And it's unfortunate to say that, but I don't make the rules. It's just on what the market is really telling you to do. And right now, it's better to stay. So rule number 3, buy the home, not the bet. Don't stretch for the appreciation play. Don't assume that you can just sell it $10,000, $20,000 more than your neighbor because you like it more than theirs. Buy the place that fits your life, your commute, your budget, the one you'd be happy in if the value never moved up. And if you're watching this and your finances are not in order, you got thin savings, maybe you got debt you got to work through. I got to do it too. This is one of the best possible times to not buy because the market is flat. You are not missing a rocket ship. Prices aren't running away from you. There's no FOMO penalty for waiting right now. That frozen market we talked about, it's actually a gift if you're not ready. It buys you time. It's so use the next couple of years to get strong, build your emergency fund, knock down your high interest rate, build up your credit, make sure you're recording income, not writing off everything if you own a business. So in the next 2 years, you can get a good loan. So you got to make sure your net income at the end of the year, I know you have to pay more taxes. You have to make sure your net income is high enough to actually get qualified for the house you want to move into. Okay. Build your emergency fund. Like I said, you should grow your down payment so you're not house poor on day one. Try to put down, if you can, at least minimum 10%. But if you really should, honestly, put it to 20%. That's going to secure you, get you the best monthly payment, and you are in a lower risk of losing everything or even have to come to closing if you have to sell in 2 years. Yes, you'll lose money, of course, but you don't have to come to closing to sell your own house, okay? When rates eventually ease and you walk in with a real savings and a clear financial picture, you'll buy from a position of strength instead of stretching and praying. Now that's completely different and a far safer way to become a homeowner. So, should you buy a house in Georgia in 2026? The answer is if you're financially ready, and if you're buying a home you'll stay in for years, it can absolutely be the right move for you and your family. If you got more negotiation power than buyers have had in a long time, but if you're chasing a quick flip, 2-year move up, or fast equity, the market is telling you loud and clear that those days are on pause. If this video gave you a clear picture, please like and subscribe. I break down this kind of stuff in every video at least once a week. I try to post a little bit more every week. I just started, but I'd be happy to help anybody that might be going through this situation where they bought maybe 2 years ago and they're kind of stuck. There is options for you to get out and not have to pay at the closing table, and I'd be happy to talk about it in another video. Please leave a comment below. And if you're looking to buy in the Metro Atlanta area for your family soon, or maybe upsize and want to make sure it's the right move for you right now, reach out to me in the description below. Click the link and we can book a call and go over your situation to see what the best move for you and your family is right now. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one next week.